Being nice is often seen as a virtue, something that society encourages from an early age. We're taught to be polite, to avoid conflict, and to consider others' feelings above our own. While kindness, courtesy, and respect are important, it's essential to understand that simply being nice is not the same as being true to yourself. The difference between these two can be profound, shaping not only how we interact with the world, but also how we develop and pursue our true purpose in life. When you make niceness your goal, you can easily lose sight of who you truly are. It's easy to get caught in the trap of trying to please others, to be agreeable, to avoid confrontation, and to put the needs of others above your own at all times. Being nice in this sense often means sacrificing your own beliefs, values, and desires in an attempt to avoid upsetting anyone or causing discomfort. But in doing so, you risk becoming disconnected from your true self, compromising your integrity, and denying the essence of what makes you unique. When niceness becomes your default mode of operation, you lose the ability to stand firm on your principles because you're more concerned about what people think than about what is right for you and for the world. Being true to yourself means having the courage to express who you are, even when it is inconvenient or uncomfortable for others. It requires the ability to prioritize your own well-being, happiness, and purpose over the approval of others. This does not mean being rude, inconsiderate, or dismissive of others. It simply means you're no longer willing to be a people pleaser who bends to the will of others at the cost of your own growth and authenticity. The tension between niceness and authenticity often arises in the decisions we make every day. How many times have we said yes when we really wanted to say no? How often do we suppress our true feelings or desires in favor of maintaining harmony or avoiding conflict? This is especially evident in professional settings, where we might agree to take on extra work, attend events we don't enjoy, or suppress our opinions to avoid ruffling feathers. In these situations, being nice feels easier than being honest with ourselves. But in the long run, this constant avoidance of confrontation or expression of personal desires leads to frustration, resentment, and burnout. When you constantly put others' needs above your own, you start to lose track of who you are. You begin to live for others rather than for yourself, and this takes a toll on your emotional and mental well-being. The more you abandon your true self to meet others' expectations, the further you drift from your purpose. You may find yourself trapped in a cycle of pleasing others, but never truly feeling fulfilled or aligned with your deeper values. Niceness, when overemphasized, becomes a shield for fear. Fear of rejection, fear of conflict, fear of being disliked. This fear can drive you to keep quiet when you should speak up, to settle when you should strive for more, or to compromise when you should stand firm. It's easy to think that avoiding confrontation or disagreement will keep the peace, but in reality, it prevents growth, both personal and collective. Without honest conversations, without standing up for what matters, we remain stagnant, never moving toward our true potential. Being true to yourself is about recognizing your worth, understanding your values, and having the courage to stand by them even when it's hard. It's about understanding that your voice matters, your thoughts matter, and your feelings are just as important as anyone else's. When you stop hiding behind the mask of niceness, you can begin to live authentically, making decisions based on your own beliefs and desires, rather than simply trying to please others. One of the most freeing realizations is understanding that you cannot control how others perceive you. No matter how hard you try to be nice and please everyone, there will always be someone who disagrees, someone who finds fault, or someone who judges. The more you strive to meet their expectations, the more you lose touch with who you truly are. The sooner you let go of the need for external validation, the sooner you can begin to embrace your true self. This doesn't mean disregarding others or being insensitive, but rather focusing on being authentic, even if it means facing criticism or disapproval. Being true to yourself requires self-awareness. You must learn to listen to your own heart, to discern what feels right for you, and to recognize when you're compromising your own needs for the sake of pleasing others. It takes a certain level of inner strength to say no when necessary, to assert boundaries, and to prioritize your own needs over the expectations of others. It's not about being selfish, but rather being self-respecting. By staying true to yourself, you can foster deeper, more genuine relationships because you are no longer pretending to be someone you're not. People will begin to respect you not because you are nice, but because you are real. It's also important to recognize that being true to yourself is not an act of rebellion or defiance, it's an act of liberation. When you shed the need to please everyone, you free yourself from the shackles of approval and expectation. You create space for your unique gifts, talents, and perspectives to flourish. And in doing so, you inspire others to do the same, to embrace their authenticity and pursue their own purpose with conviction. In the end, being nice is not enough. Niceness might win you some temporary approval or avoid some uncomfortable moments, but it will never lead you to the life you are truly meant to live. True fulfillment comes from being authentic, from embracing your uniqueness, and from following your inner compass. When you stop trying to be nice and start being true to yourself, you open up the possibility for greater growth, deeper relationships, and a life aligned with your true purpose. Niceness can often be mistaken for strength, but in reality it can sometimes lead to weakness. While kindness and respect are fundamental virtues, niceness, a constant state, can be a mask for insecurity, fear, and a lack of direction. The problem with being nice all the time is that it can undermine your integrity, compromise your values, and prevent you from reaching your full potential. Over time, this constant desire to please others and avoid conflict weakens your resolve, erodes your self-confidence, and leaves you vulnerable to manipulation. At its core, niceness is about seeking approval and avoiding confrontation. It is about doing whatever is necessary to make people like you, often at the expense of your own desires, needs, and principles. People who are always nice are often driven by the fear of rejection or conflict. They may say yes to things they don't want to do, suppress their own thoughts and feelings, or even stay in relationships or situations that aren't serving them simply because they don't want to rock the boat. Niceness becomes a survival mechanism, a way of keeping the peace and staying out of trouble, but in doing so, it often creates a false sense of security. The more you focus on being nice, the more you ignore your own desires and values, ultimately leading to internal conflict and dissatisfaction. This niceness can become a form of weakness when it prevents you from standing up for yourself or others. In situations where standing firm is necessary, whether in the workplace, in relationships, or in personal matters, the nice person may avoid confrontation, fail to assert themselves, and passively allow things to happen that they know are wrong. This constant avoidance of difficult conversations or actions builds resentment and frustration over time, not only from others, but also within oneself. The more you suppress your true thoughts and feelings, the more you lose respect for yourself, and others begin to take advantage of your unwillingness to assert boundaries. Additionally, being nice all the time can erode your credibility. People can sense when someone is trying too hard to be liked or to please everyone around them. While kindness is a positive trait, excessive niceness often signals a lack of confidence and self-respect. When you're more concerned with what others think of you than with what you stand for, your words and actions lose authenticity. Others may begin to see you as insincere, weak, or easily manipulated. The more you try to be everything to everyone, the less people can trust your true intentions. Niceness also diminishes your ability to lead effectively. Leadership requires strength, conviction, and the willingness to make tough decisions, none of which are compatible with the constant need to please others. A leader who is overly concerned with being liked may avoid making unpopular decisions, ignore difficult truths, or fail to take the necessary actions for the good of the group. Instead of leading with courage, they lead with fear. Fear of rejection, fear of conflict, fear of disapproval. And that fear only weakens their position. True leaders are able to make decisions with authority and act in the best interest of those they lead, even when those decisions are not popular. They understand that being liked is not their primary goal. Serving others, fostering growth, and achieving the mission are. Moreover, niceness can create a cycle of dependency and entitlement in relationships. When you constantly try to please others, you may find that people come to expect you to always accommodate their needs and desires without ever considering your own. This can lead to an unhealthy dynamic where you are giving too much of yourself and receiving too little in return. In some cases, people may even take advantage of your niceness, knowing that you will say yes or go along with whatever they want. This leaves you feeling drained, unappreciated, and sometimes even resentful. True relationships, whether personal or professional, are built on mutual respect and understanding, not on one person always yielding to the other's demands. If you allow yourself to be constantly nice, you risk losing the balance that makes relationships healthy and fulfilling. Being overly nice can also prevent you from achieving your personal goals. In your professional life, for instance, you might avoid pushing back on unreasonable demands or asking for what you truly deserve, such as a raise or recognition. In personal pursuits, you may sacrifice your own aspirations to make others happy, whether it's putting your career on hold for someone else's needs or compromising your values to fit in with a group. In both cases, you are abandoning your own path in favor of a version of yourself that exists solely to please others. This kind of compromise is unsustainable and ultimately leaves you feeling unfulfilled, as you're not living in alignment with your true purpose. The act of always being nice also undermines your ability to deal with challenges or adversity. Conflict is a natural part of life. It's inevitable that at some point you'll face situations that require difficult decisions, strong boundaries, or uncomfortable conversations. If you condition yourself to avoid these situations by being nice, you will struggle when it's time to face them. You may feel paralyzed by the fear of confrontation or rejection, and as a result, you might avoid doing what's necessary to move forward. Over time, this avoidance weakens your character and diminishes your resilience. To move past the weakness that comes from excessive niceness, it's crucial to start valuing yourself and your needs. Start by identifying where you have been compromising your integrity or avoiding necessary conflicts. Ask yourself why you're saying yes when you really want to say no. What are you afraid of? What are you avoiding? Often the fear of upsetting others or being disliked is rooted in a lack of self-worth or fear of failure. But when you begin to assert your boundaries express your opinions, and make decisions based on your values and needs, you will find a new sense of strength and confidence. It won't always be easy, but it will be empowering. The key to overcoming the weakness of niceness is learning to be assertive without being aggressive. Destiny requires boldness, not passivity. Too often, people think that destiny will somehow unfold by itself, that things will eventually fall into place if they just wait long enough. This mindset is rooted in the false belief that success, purpose, and fulfillment will come effortlessly without significant effort or risk. However, the truth is that destiny is not something that just happens to you. It is something you actively create through the choices you make, the actions you take, and the courage you summon to face challenges head on. To reach the life you were meant to live, you must take bold, intentional steps forward, not wait for life to passively deliver opportunities or change. Boldness is about taking risks, embracing uncertainty, and pursuing your goals with determination and purpose, even when the path ahead is unclear. It's about having the courage to step out of your comfort zone and make decisions that align with your deepest values, even when it feels uncomfortable or difficult. Boldness is the fuel that drives progress and opens doors to new possibilities. Without it, you remain stuck in a cycle of indecision, fear, and complacency. It's easy to get comfortable with the status quo, but true growth and transformation happen only when you decide to challenge yourself and take action. Passivity, on the other hand, is a state of waiting for things to happen, often driven by fear, uncertainty, or a lack of confidence. It's the belief that if you just sit back and follow the expected path, your destiny will eventually come to you. Passivity tells you that you don't need to make waves or take risks, that you can simply float along and things will work out eventually. But this approach often leads to stagnation, missed opportunities, and unfulfilled potential. It creates a false sense of security because while you might avoid challenges or failure, you also miss out on the growth, learning, and success that come from actively pursuing your goals. Destiny is not passive. Destiny is active. It demands that you move toward it with courage, even when you're uncertain of the outcome. Think about the great figures in history, the leaders, the innovators, the change makers who created their own destinies. They didn't wait for someone else to give them permission. And they didn't allow fear to paralyze them. They acted boldly even when the odds were stacked against them. They embraced the challenges and the unknowns because they understood that boldness is the key to unlocking their true potential. Every successful person has faced moments of doubt, fear, and uncertainty. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not a lack of fear, but the courage to push through it. Boldness is about making decisions even when you don't have all the answers, trusting that your actions will create the opportunities you need. It's the willingness to take a leap of faith, knowing that growth comes not from staying safe and comfortable, but from challenging yourself to reach new heights. The journey toward your destiny will not always be easy, and it certainly won't be linear. There will be obstacles, setbacks, and moments where you question whether you're on the right path. But boldness means that you keep moving forward despite the challenges. You take the first step even when you're unsure of where it will lead, because you understand that nothing happens without action. Destiny does not wait for you to feel fully ready or prepared. It calls you to take action in the midst of uncertainty, and it is through those bold actions that you begin to see the path unfold before you. Boldness is also about making choices that are in alignment with your true self, even when those choices may not be popular or easy. Too often we make decisions based on what others expect of us, or we follow a path because it seems like the safest option. But this kind of passivity leads to a life that is dictated by external influences rather than internal conviction. Boldness requires that you listen to your inner voice, follow your passions, and pursue the things that truly matter to you, even if it means going against the grain or taking a less traveled road. The world rewards boldness. Opportunities rarely come to those who sit back and wait for them to appear. Instead, they are claimed by those who actively seek them out, who step forward with confidence and clarity. Boldness opens doors that would otherwise remain closed. It attracts the right people, creates opportunities for growth, and builds momentum that propels you toward your goals. If you wait for the perfect moment to act, you may wait forever. But if you choose to act boldly, even without knowing exactly how things will turn out, you put yourself in a position to create the future you desire. The power of boldness lies in its ability to break through barriers. Passivity keeps you stuck in your current situation, unable to move forward or grow. Boldness shatters those limitations, allowing you to step beyond your fears and doubts. It pushes you to confront your weaknesses, challenge your beliefs, and reframe your perspective. Through bold action, you realize that the only limits are the ones you place on yourself. When you choose to act boldly, you give yourself permission to expand, evolve, and reach new heights. Your destiny is not something that happens to you. It's something you create through your actions, your choices, and your willingness to be bold in the face of uncertainty. Passivity may feel comfortable in the short term, but it will never lead you to your true potential. If you want to live a life of purpose, impact, and fulfillment, you must take bold steps forward even when the way ahead seems unclear. Only by embracing boldness, taking risks, and facing challenges head-on can you unlock the door to the life you are meant to live. Destiny is waiting for you, but it won't come to those who wait passively. It will come to those who take bold action and move toward it with purpose. Leadership is about strength and service, not subservience. At its core, leadership is about guiding and empowering others, inspiring them to reach their full potential and serving the greater good. However, there is often confusion between being a servant leader and being subservient. Servant leadership requires strength, courage, and a clear sense of direction, while subservience implies weakness, a lack of autonomy, and the willingness to be dominated. Understanding this distinction is crucial for anyone who wishes to lead effectively and meaningfully. True leadership is rooted in the understanding that to lead others, you must first serve them. Service in leadership is not about being inferior or submissive. It is about putting others' needs before your own, offering guidance, support, and resources to help them succeed. It is a mindset that elevates others, not a stance that diminishes yourself. The best leaders do not lead by exerting control or forcing others to follow their will, but by empowering those around them, recognizing their strengths, and creating an environment where everyone can thrive. This approach requires humility, empathy, and a deep understanding of the human condition, but it is ultimately grounded in strength and integrity. When we think of strong leaders, we often imagine figures who stand firm, make tough decisions, and take charge in times of crisis. While these qualities are certainly important, true strength in leadership goes beyond simply issuing commands or maintaining authority. A strong leader is someone who leads by example, who embodies the values they wish to instill in others, and who is not afraid to make sacrifices for the benefit of their team. They are not driven by ego, but by a sense of duty to those they lead. This kind of strength is built on the foundation of integrity, self-confidence, and a willingness to listen, learn, and grow. On the other hand, subservience is rooted in fear and insecurity. A subservient leader is someone who defers to others out of a desire to avoid conflict or make themselves liked. They may feel that their value as a leader is tied to their ability to please others or follow the expectations of those in power. This type of leadership, if it can even be called leadership, is passive and ineffective. It creates a culture of dependence where people are not encouraged to think for themselves or take initiative. Instead, they become reliant on the leader's decisions and approvals, ultimately stifling their own growth and creativity. Subservience often stems from the belief that leadership is about domination or control, but in reality, effective leadership is about influence and service. A leader does not need to diminish themselves to make others feel important. Rather, they elevate others by empowering them, offering support, and helping them realize their own potential. A true leader does not ask others to sacrifice their integrity or self-worth to achieve a common goal. Instead, they create an environment where everyone can contribute their unique gifts and talents to the collective effort. This is not weakness, but a demonstration of the leader's own strength and vision. One of the key components of strength in leadership is the ability to set and maintain boundaries. Leaders who confuse service with subservience may allow others to walk all over them, failing to assert their own needs or stand up for what is right. This kind of leadership creates a toxic environment where respect is lost and the leader's authority is undermined. In contrast, a strong leader knows when to say no and when to challenge others, even if it is uncomfortable. They understand that setting boundaries is not about being domineering, but about ensuring that everyone is treated with respect and that the collective mission is prioritized above personal interests. Furthermore, strong leaders know that their role is to help others grow, not to do everything for them. Subservience can often lead to a pattern of micromanaging where the leader feels responsible for every action taken by their team. This approach, while seemingly helpful, ultimately stunts the growth of those under the leader's guidance. By constantly stepping in and doing things for others, the leader denies their team the opportunity to learn, make decisions, and grow in their roles. Strong leaders, on the other hand, give their team the space to succeed on their own, offering guidance and support when necessary, but allowing others to take ownership of their responsibilities. This builds confidence and helps create a culture of innovation and accountability. Leadership is also about vision. A leader must be able to see beyond the present moment, understanding not just what needs to be done today, but where the team or organization is headed in the future. Subservience often leads to a narrow focus on short-term goals or immediate approval, but a strong leader looks ahead, constantly working toward long-term growth and success. They do not make decisions based on personal gain or the approval of others, but on what will best serve the mission, the people they lead, and the greater good. This long-term vision requires strength, conviction, and the ability to make decisions that may not always be popular in the moment, but are necessary for the future. A leader who understands that leadership is about strength in service, not subservience, fosters a culture of respect, trust, and growth. They create environments where people feel valued and heard, where they can take risks, learn from their mistakes, and grow into their full potential. This kind of leadership is not about pleasing others or seeking approval, but about creating a foundation for success that is built on integrity, mutual respect, and a shared commitment to a common purpose. The difference between strength in service and subservience is clear. A leader who serves with strength empowers others to become leaders themselves, while a subservient leader creates a culture of dependence and stagnation. Leadership, at its best, is about service with purpose and strength, guiding others toward greatness while remaining true to one's own principles and values. It is through this form of leadership that individuals, teams, and organizations can reach their fullest potential, achieve their goals, and make a lasting impact on the world. Reevaluating your priorities is a powerful and necessary practice for personal growth and fulfillment. Life has a way of pulling us in multiple directions, and often we can find ourselves caught up in the rush of daily responsibilities, obligations, and the expectations of others. Over time, this can cause us to lose sight of what truly matters to us, leading to feelings of frustration, burnout, and a lack of purpose. To lead a life that is fulfilling and aligned with your true desires, it is essential to regularly reevaluate your priorities. By doing so, you create space for what truly aligns with your values and goals, allowing you to make intentional decisions that bring you closer to the life you want to live. At the heart of reevaluating your priorities is the realization that priorities are not static. They evolve as you grow, change, and experience new phases of life. What may have been important to you in your 20s may not hold the same weight in your 30s or 40s. Similarly, the priorities you had when you were single may shift when you enter a partnership or start a family. Even career goals, personal interests, and health priorities may need to be adjusted as circumstances change. The key is recognizing that just because something was once a priority does not mean it should continue to take precedence in your life indefinitely. Life's journey is dynamic, and your priorities should reflect that. One of the first steps in reevaluating your priorities is identifying what is truly important to you. Many people spend their lives chasing external markers of success such as money, status, or approval from others without ever taking the time to consider whether those things align with their true values. This pursuit of external validation can lead to a sense of emptiness or dissatisfaction, even if on paper everything seems to be going well. To truly understand what you value, take a step back and ask yourself questions like, what do I want out of life? What brings me joy and fulfillment? What do I want to be remembered for? By identifying these core desires and values, you can begin to reshape your priorities to reflect what truly matters, rather than simply following societal expectations or the pressures of others. Often, people get stuck in a pattern of focusing on what others expect of them, rather than what they genuinely want or need. Family, friends, colleagues, and even society at large can impose their own expectations, leading individuals to feel as though they must prioritize certain things in order to meet those demands. While it's important to consider the needs of others, constantly putting others' needs above your own can lead to resentment, burnout, and a sense of being disconnected from your own desires. Reevaluating your priorities requires the courage to question these external pressures and make decisions that honor your own needs and aspirations. This doesn't mean disregarding the needs of others, but rather finding a balance between serving your own goals and being there for those you care about. Another important aspect of reevaluating priorities is recognizing the need for balance in different areas of life. For many people, work becomes the dominant focus, often to the detriment of health, relationships, and personal well-being. The modern world places a significant emphasis on professional success and productivity, leading people to believe that their worth is tied to how much they accomplish in their careers. While work and financial stability are important, they should not overshadow the other areas of life that contribute to your overall well-being and happiness. Taking the time to reevaluate your priorities allows you to consider whether you're devoting enough time to your physical health, mental well-being, relationships, personal growth, and hobbies. By creating a sense of balance, you can prevent burnout and create a more fulfilling, well-rounded life. Reevaluating your priorities also involves assessing how you spend your time. Time is one of the most valuable resources we have, and how we choose to spend it can have a significant impact on our happiness and success. Many people find themselves trapped in routines and habits that do not align with their true desires. You might be spending hours every week doing tasks that are unimportant or engaging in activities that drain your energy, leaving little room for the things that truly matter. One of the most effective ways to reevaluate your priorities is by conducting an honest audit of how you spend your time. Are you investing time in activities that contribute to your goals, happiness, and well-being? Or are you spending too much time on things that do not bring you closer to the life you envision? Identifying time wasters and reallocating that time toward more meaningful pursuits can be an eye-opening and empowering experience. It is also important to recognize that reevaluating your priorities is not a one-time event, but an ongoing process. As you grow, learn, and experience new things, your priorities may naturally shift again. What is important to you now may change as your circumstances and understanding of yourself evolve. This continual reassessment allows you to stay aligned with your true goals and values, ensuring that you are always moving in the direction of a life that is meaningful and authentic to you. Regularly checking in with yourself about your priorities also gives you the opportunity to course correct if you find that you veered off track or become too focused on external pressures. Furthermore, reevaluating your priorities can help you make difficult decisions with greater clarity. Life often presents us with choices that force us to decide where to allocate our time, energy, and resources. Whether it's choosing between career opportunities, deciding how to spend your free time, or evaluating relationships, having a clear understanding of your priorities can help you make decisions that are in alignment with your long-term goals and values. When you are clear on what matters most to you, you are better equipped to make choices that serve your growth and happiness, even if they involve saying no to things that no longer fit into your vision for your life. Reevaluating your priorities ultimately empowers you to live a life that is true to yourself. It allows you to make intentional decisions that bring you closer to your goals rather than letting life pass by without a sense of direction. By regularly assessing what is truly important to you, aligning your actions with your values, and making conscious choices about how you spend your time, you create the foundation for a life of purpose, fulfillment, and happiness. Life is too short to live according to other people's expectations or to remain stuck in patterns that don't serve your well-being. You were meant to be a leader, not just nice. In a world where kindness is often seen as a virtue to be upheld, many people mistakenly equate being nice with being a leader. While being kind and compassionate is important, true leadership goes beyond simply pleasing others or seeking approval. Leadership requires strength, conviction, and a vision. It's about making decisions that align with your values and guiding others toward a greater purpose. Being nice may earn you short-term favor or superficial relationships, but it is your ability to lead with authenticity and courage that will leave a lasting impact. Leadership is about direction and influence. It is about inspiring others, motivating them to take action, and helping them realize their potential. A leader is someone who sees beyond the present circumstances and actively works toward creating a better future. A true leader is not afraid to challenge the status quo or make tough decisions. They understand that leadership is not about being liked by everyone, but about making choices that serve the greater good and help others grow. They have a vision for the future and take action, even when faced with resistance, doubt, or fear. Being nice, on the other hand, often means avoiding conflict or discomfort, seeking approval, and conforming to others' expectations. It is easy to be nice when everything is going smoothly and when people agree with your ideas. But leadership requires more than just agreement. It requires the ability to stand firm in your beliefs, to speak your truth, and to act with integrity, even when it is difficult. Niceness, while admirable, is not always the quality that will get you through tough situations or lead you toward real success. A leader is someone who is willing to take responsibility even when things go wrong. Nice people often shy away from responsibility because they fear the consequences of failure or disapproval. But leaders understand that responsibility is a fundamental part of growth, both for themselves and for the people they lead. They recognize that mistakes and setbacks are part of the journey, and they embrace them as learning opportunities. Instead of avoiding tough decisions or taking the easy path, leaders step up to the challenge, knowing that their actions will shape the future for themselves and those they influence. Leadership requires the courage to act decisively. It is easy to be passive or to wait for others to make decisions, but this approach leaves little room for growth or innovation. A true leader makes decisions, even when they are not popular or when the outcome is uncertain. They trust their instincts, listen to their inner voice, and take calculated risks in pursuit of their vision. A leader does not sit on the sidelines waiting for things to happen. They are actively engaged in the process of creating change, and they inspire others to do the same. Being nice often involves deferring to others, avoiding confrontation, and sacrificing personal opinions for the sake of peace. While it is important to value others' perspectives, true leadership requires the strength to make decisions based on what is best for the group or the mission, not just what is most comfortable. Moreover, leadership requires the ability to confront and overcome fear. Fear of failure, fear of criticism, and fear of rejection can hold anyone back from stepping into their true potential. But a leader is not someone who is fearless. They are someone who faces fear head-on and chooses to act in spite of it. They inspire others to do the same. Being nice may involve avoiding uncomfortable situations or suppressing your own needs to keep the peace. But leadership is about standing firm in your values and stepping up when the situation demands it. Leaders are not defined by their lack of fear, but by their ability to move forward despite it. Furthermore, leadership is about empowering others to find their own strength and potential. While a nice person may be willing to do things for others or help them avoid discomfort, a leader challenges others to rise to their own greatness. Leadership is about developing other leaders, not creating followers. A leader helps others recognize their own power and potential, offering guidance and support while encouraging independence and growth. By contrast, niceness can sometimes create dependency. When people rely on you to make decisions for them or to take care of their needs, they may never discover their own abilities to lead or solve problems. True leadership nurtures self-reliance, confidence, and autonomy in others. True leadership also requires vision, seeing possibilities where others might only see limitations. It's easy to be nice in situations where there is little to challenge or inspire you. But leaders thrive in environments that require creative problem solving, innovation, and forward thinking. They look beyond immediate concerns and focus on long-term solutions. They inspire others to take risks and push boundaries, to think bigger, and to go further than they thought possible. Being nice often involves playing it safe and maintaining the status quo, but leadership is about breaking through barriers and finding new ways to move forward. Leaders are not afraid to dream big and to lead others toward a shared goal, even if it requires taking bold steps and making difficult decisions.